Discipline is not about rules. It's about power, your power. Most people think discipline is about rigid commands, strict schedules, and external pressure to conform. They see it as something imposed, something heavy, even suffocating. But true discipline, the kind that changes lives, isn't forced on you. It's the discipline no one sees, no one enforces, and no one monitors. It's mental discipline, and it's the foundation of real strength. Mental discipline is the quiet force that shapes your life when no one is watching. It's choosing to rise before the sun to train your body and mind. It's picking up a book to feed your growth instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone. It's staying calm when your instincts scream to react. It's the power of listening in silence when others rush to argue. Life will test you. No one escapes periods of uncertainty, pain, and challenges that feel insurmountable. Some crumble under the weight. Others rise, grow, and emerge unshaken. What separates them? Not luck, not privilege. It's inner strength, a silent but unyielding force from within. Here's the truth. Inner strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's forged in the daily grind of mental discipline. If you want to face life's storms without losing yourself, if you want to grow in ways that truly matter, you must start here. The path won't be easy. It will demand more from you than you've ever given. But the rewards? They're worth everything. If you're ready to take control of your life and build unshakable inner strength, leave a comment. I want to become better. Stop waiting. Start building. 1. What is mental discipline? Mental discipline is not a rigid set of rules you impose on yourself, nor is it about suppressing your emotions or forcing yourself into submission. It is, at its core, the quiet art of mastery over your own mind, a skill that allows you to rise above the chaos of distractions, impulses, and automatic reactions. It is the ability to hold the reins of your thoughts firmly, steering them away from what is meaningless and toward what truly matters. In a world that constantly pulls us in countless directions, notifications buzzing, opinions flying, and emotions flaring, mental discipline is the anchor that keeps us steady. It is the silent strength that enables you to pause in the midst of noise, to observe without being consumed, and to choose your response with clarity and intention. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom, therefore, lies not in doing whatever we want, but in not being enslaved by our own impulses. Consider this. How often have you been swept away by a fleeting emotion, moment of anger, frustration, or environly, to later regret the words spoken or the actions taken? Mental discipline is the antidote to such moments. It is the ability to pause, to breathe, and to reflect before reacting. It is not about suppressing your feelings, but about understanding them and choosing how to act in alignment with your values rather than your instincts. To make this concept more tangible, think of a professional athlete preparing for a crucial game. Their success doesn't come from raw talent alone, but from their ability to maintain focus under pressure. When the crowd roars and the stakes are high, they don't let their minds wander or their emotions take over. Instead, they channel their energy toward the task at hand, ignoring distractions and staying in control of their mental state. This is mental discipline in action, an unwavering focus on what is within their control, while letting go of everything else. Mental discipline is also the art of filtering your thoughts. Not every thought that crosses your mind deserves your attention. Without discipline, the mind becomes like an untamed garden, overrun with weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity. But with discipline, you can cultivate it with care, nurturing thoughts that serve you and discarding those that don't. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This practice is not limited to moments of crisis. It is woven into the fabric of daily life. It's in the decision to focus on a meaningful conversation instead of scrolling through your phone. It's in choosing to listen with patience rather than interrupting with judgment. It's in staying calm in the face of provocation, refusing to let someone else dictate your emotional state. These small, deliberate actions build the foundation of mental discipline. In essence, mental discipline is about reclaiming your power, the power to think clearly, act intentionally, and live purposefully. It is not a burden, but a gift, one that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. And when you master this quiet art, you will find that the storms of life no longer shake you. Instead, you will stand firm, guided by the steady strength of a disciplined mind. 2. Inner strength and freedom. Inner strength is not a gift bestowed upon a fortunate few. It is something cultivated, brick by brick, through the quiet practice of daily mental discipline. It is not loud, it does not demand attention, and it is certainly not something you are born with. Instead, inner strength is the silent resilience that grows within you as you learn to master your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. It is the ability to remain calm when chaos surrounds you, the patience to endure discomfort without complaint, and the courage to act with integrity when no one is watching. In a fast-paced world, freedom is often misunderstood. Many believe it lies in the ability to do whatever one desires, no rules, no restrictions, no boundaries. But true freedom is far deeper than this superficial notion. It is not about indulging every whim or chasing fleeting pleasures. True freedom, as the Stoics teach, is the ability to remain unshaken by external events, unbound by the chains of impulsive emotions, and untouched by the opinions of others. As Viktor Frankl, the renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, once said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Think about the last time someone provoked you: a sharp comment from a colleague, a dismissive glance from a friend, or an unfair judgment from a stranger. Did you react immediately, letting anger or frustration take control? Or did you pause, breathe, and choose to respond with grace? The ability to stay silent in the face of provocation, to resist the urge to lash out, is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is the quiet declaration that you will not allow someone else's actions to dictate your state of mind. Consider the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison under the harshest conditions. Yet, when he emerged, he did not seek revenge. Instead, he chose forgiveness and reconciliation. His strength was not in his physical endurance, but in his ability to control his emotions and focus on a greater purpose. Mandela's story reminds us that inner strength is forged in the fires of adversity, but it is tempered by discipline and self-control. To cultivate this strength, one must practice patience, the passive kind that waits for life to happen, but the active patience that chooses to endure discomfort with dignity. This is the kind of patience that allows you to remain silent when provoked, to listen instead of argue, and to act with intention rather than react impulsively. It is the patience that frees you from the need to prove yourself to others, because you already know your worth. True strength is quiet. It does not shout, it does not boast, and it does not seek validation. It is the freedom to walk away from conflicts that do not serve you, the courage to stand firm in your values, and the wisdom to know when to speak and when to remain silent. By practicing discipline daily, you can build this inner strength and experience the profound freedom that comes with it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let this be your guide as you navigate the challenges of life. For in mastering yourself, you will discover the truest form of freedom. 3. Control of thoughts. Suffering does not arise from the events we face, but from how we interpret and think about them. This timeless truth, echoed by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, reminds us that the power to shape our emotional and mental state lies not in external circumstances, but within our own minds. Life will always present challenges: unfair treatment at work, a friend's betrayal, financial struggles, but it is not the events themselves that cause pain. It is the meaning we assign to them and the thoughts we allow to dominate our minds. Consider this. 2 people lose their jobs on the same day. One spirals into despair, consumed by thoughts of failure and hopelessness, convinced that life has dealt them an irreversible blow. The other, while shaken, sees the loss as an opportunity, a chance to explore new paths, learn new skills, and perhaps even find a more fulfilling career. The event is the same, but the outcomes are vastly different. Why? Because their thoughts shaped their reality. The ability to control your thoughts is one of the most powerful tools for transforming your life. When you train yourself to pause and assess your inner dialogue, you begin to notice patterns. How often do you dwell on worst-case scenarios? How often do you replay past mistakes in your mind, as if punishing yourself repeatedly will somehow change the outcome? These thought loops are like quicksand, pulling you deeper into negativity and robbing you of the clarity needed to move forward. To break free, you must first acknowledge the silent power of your thoughts. They are the architects of your emotions and, ultimately, your actions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are filled with anger, fear, or self-doubt, your emotions will reflect that, and your actions will follow suit. But if you choose thoughts of resilience, gratitude, and purpose, you'll find yourself navigating life's storms with grace and strength. Practical examples abound in daily life. Think of a heated argument with a loved one. Your initial thoughts might be filled with blame and resentment. How could they say that to me? But if you pause and shift your perspective, you might realize their words came from a place of frustration or misunderstanding, not malice. By controlling your thoughts, you can respond with empathy instead of anger, preserving the relationship rather than damaging it. In the workplace, controlling your thoughts can mean the difference between growth and stagnation. When faced with criticism, an undisciplined mind might think, "I'm not good enough," but a disciplined mind reframes the situation. This feedback is an opportunity to improve. Such a shift not only changes your emotional response, but also motivates constructive action. Mastering your thoughts is not about suppressing negativity or pretending everything is fine. It's about consciously choosing which thoughts deserve your energy and attention. It's about creating mental space for clarity and focus, rather than allowing your mind to be cluttered with noise. This practice requires consistency. Journaling can help writing down your recurring thoughts and challenging the ones that don't serve you. Meditation and mindfulness can also train your mind to observe thoughts without judgment, allowing you to let go of those that hinder your growth. Ultimately, controlling your thoughts is the foundation of true freedom. When you free your mind from the tyranny of negativity and impulsive reactions, you unlock the ability to live with purpose and peace. As the Stoics remind us, you are not disturbed by things, but by your perception of them. Change your perception, and you change your life. 4. Emotional discipline. Emotions are like waves, powerful, unpredictable, and fleeting. They rise suddenly, crash against the shores of your mind, and then recede, leaving behind either calm waters or the wreckage of impulsive actions. The ability to navigate these waves with grace and composure is what defines emotional discipline. It is the art of pausing, observing, and choosing your response, rather than allowing emotions to dictate your actions. Too often, people act in the heat of the moment, driven by anger, frustration, or fear. A harsh word spoken in anger can fracture a lifelong friendship. A decision made in haste, fueled by anxiety, can lead to years of regret. These moments remind us that impulsive reactions to temporary emotions often carry long-term consequences. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely observed, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. To pause, to wait for the storm to pass, is not weakness, it is wisdom. Consider a story from place. A manager receives harsh criticism from their superior during a meeting. The sting of embarrassment and anger is immediate, and the temptation to retaliate is strong. But instead of reacting, the manager chooses silence. They take time to reflect, to allow the initial wave of emotion to subside. Later, they approach the situation with clarity, addressing the feedback constructively and maintaining their professionalism. This act of restraint not only preserves their reputation, but also strengthens their leadership. Emotional discipline, in this case, becomes a silent but powerful tool for success. Emotional discipline is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about creating space between the emotion and the action. It's about acknowledging the emotion, whether it's anger, sadness, or even joy, without letting it overwhelm you. This practice requires mindfulness. When you feel anger rising, pause and ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Is it worth reacting to right now? Often, the simple act of questioning your emotions can diffuse their intensity. In relationships, emotional discipline is the cornerstone of harmony. Think of a couple in the middle of an argument. One partner becomes silent, not out of defeat, but as an act of self-control, choosing to listen rather than escalate. This pause allows them to understand their partner's perspective, to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Over time, this practice builds trust and deepens the bond between them. Even in moments of personal struggle, emotional discipline is transformative. When life feels overwhelming, it's easy to give in to despair or frustration. But by pausing, breathing, and choosing to focus on what you can control, you reclaim your power. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist, said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." To cultivate emotional discipline, start small. The next time you feel a surge of emotion, practice the art of waiting. Count to 10 before responding to an insult. Take a deep breath before making a decision. Write down your thoughts before confronting someone. These small acts of self-control, repeated consistently, will strengthen your ability to master your emotions. Ultimately, emotional discipline is not about denying your humanity, but elevating it. It is the quiet strength of choosing patience over anger, understanding over judgment, and clarity over chaos. By mastering your emotions, you not only protect yourself from unnecessary pain, but also create a life of balance, resilience, and purpose. 5. The importance of small actions. Inner strength isn't forged in grand, dramatic moments. It is built quietly, steadily, through the small, often overlooked actions of daily life. Waking up early when the world is still silent, choosing patience over anger in a moment of frustration, or completing a seemingly insignificant task when no one else is watching. These small acts, repeated consistently, form the foundation of true mental strength. Consider the act of waking up early. On the surface, it seems simple, almost trivial, but in reality, it is a declaration of discipline. It's a moment when you choose to rise above the comfort of your bed and take control of your day. The stillness of the morning becomes your ally, offering you time to reflect, plan, and prepare before the world's noise begins. This single action sets the tone for the day, reminding you that you are in charge of your life, not your impulses. Similarly, controlling anger in a heated moment is another small but profound act of strength. When someone provokes you, the easy path is to react shouting, blaming, or retaliating. But choosing silence, taking a deep breath, and responding thoughtfully is a sign of maturity and self-mastery. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Every time you choose to control your emotions, you lay another brick in the structure of your inner resilience. Even completing small, mundane tasks contributes to your mental fortitude. Think about the satisfaction of ticking off items on a to-do list, folding laundry, paying bills, or cleaning your workspace. These tasks may seem insignificant, but they carry a deeper message. You are capable of following through, of bringing order to chaos. Each completed task reinforces your ability to take action, even when motivation is lacking. Over time, these small victories accumulate, creating a sense of confidence and control over your life. Take, for example, the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, she faced countless rejections, financial struggles, and personal hardships. Yet, she continued to write page by page, day by day. Each small act of writing, even when the odds were stacked against her, eventually led to one of the most beloved literary works of our time. Her story reminds us that greatness is not achieved in a single leap, but in countless small steps. Small actions are deceptively powerful because they are consistent. They may not seem transformative in the moment, but their cumulative effect is profound. Like drops of water carving through stone, these actions shape your character, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. They teach you discipline, patience, and perseverance, qualities that form the backbone of inner strength. The beauty of small actions lies in their accessibility. You don't need extraordinary talent, wealth, or luck to practice them. All you need is the willingness to take that first step, however small it may be. And when you commit to these actions daily, they become second nature, creating a ripple effect that transforms not only your mindset, but your entire life. As the philosopher Lao Tzu said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Each small action is a step forward, a brick in the invisible wall of your inner strength. Over time, these small, silent choices will build a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. 6. Facing difficulties. Avoiding difficulties may feel like a temporary escape, but it is a trap that prolongs anxiety and weakens the spirit. Challenges, no matter how intimidating, are not barriers to your growth. They are the very path to it. Every difficulty you face is an opportunity, a silent call to rise above fear, discomfort, and uncertainty. To avoid them is to deny yourself the chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think of a person who avoids conflict at work, sidestepping tough conversations with their boss or colleagues. At first, it may seem like they are preserving peace, but in reality, they are allowing their anxiety to fester. The unresolved tension grows, and so does their fear of confrontation. On the other hand, someone who chooses to face the situation calmly, respectfully, and with clarity may feel discomfort in the moment, but they come out stronger. They learn the value of standing their ground, of expressing their thoughts, and of navigating difficult situations with grace. Life's difficulties are like weights gym. You cannot grow stronger by avoiding them. You must engage with them, lift them, and endure the strain. It is in this process of struggle that inner strength is built. As Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." The discomfort you feel when facing a challenge is not a sign of weakness, but a signal that you are stretching beyond your limits, expanding your capacity to handle life's complexities. Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey, who faced unimaginable hardships in her early life: poverty, abuse, and rejection. She could have allowed these difficulties to define her, to silence her dreams. Instead, she confronted them head-on, using her pain as fuel to build a life of purpose and impact. Today, she is celebrated not just for her success, but for her resilience and determination to overcome. Her story is a testament to the power of facing difficulties and emerging stronger on the other side. Avoidance, on the other hand, creates a false sense of safety. It lulls you into believing that by sidestepping challenges, you are protecting yourself. But in truth, you are merely delaying the inevitable, allowing the fear to grow stronger and your confidence to erode. The longer you avoid a difficulty, the more power it gains over you. Facing it, however, diminishes its hold and restores your sense of control. Practical examples of this are every action starves it. To face difficulties is not to eliminate fear, but to act in spite of it. It is to acknowledge that the path forward may be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is the only path worth taking. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The next time you encounter a difficulty, resist the urge to retreat. Instead, take a deep breath and face it head-on. Whether it's having a difficult conversation, taking on a daunting project, or confronting a personal fear, remind yourself that every challenge is a chance to grow. Each difficulty you face is a step toward becoming the person you are meant to be: stronger, wiser, and unshakable. 7. Practice mental discipline every day. Mental discipline is not something you achieve overnight. It is a skill, a habit, cultivated through consistent, deliberate practice. Like a muscle, your mind grows stronger with use, and the small, seemingly insignificant daily actions you take are the training ground for developing true self-mastery. Waking up on time, writing a self-evaluation diary, or facing discomfort head-on, these are not just tasks. They are acts of self-discipline that shape your character and strengthen your willpower. Waking up on time is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to practice mental discipline. The moment your alarm rings, you are faced with a choice: to rise and take charge of the day, or to surrender to the comfort of your bed. This small decision sets the tone for the hours ahead. By choosing to wake up on time, you assert control over your impulses, proving to yourself that you have the power to act according to your intentions rather than your feelings. As Benjamin Franklin once said, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." This act, though silent and unnoticed by others, is a powerful declaration of your commitment to self-discipline. Another effective practice is writing a self-evaluation diary. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and emotions. What did you do well? Where did you falter? Writing these reflections forces you to confront yourself honestly, to take responsibility for your choices, and to identify areas for growth. This practice not only sharpens your self-awareness, but also strengthens your ability to hold yourself accountable. Over time, it becomes a ritual of self-improvement, a silent dialogue between you and your higher self. Facing discomfort is perhaps the most challenging but rewarding way to train mental discipline. Whether it's engaging in a difficult conversation, stepping out of your comfort zone at work, or enduring physical challenges like exercise, discomfort is where growth happens. Each time you face discomfort and push through it, you build resilience. Think of athletes who train in harsh conditions or entrepreneurs who endure countless failures before finding success. Their mental discipline is not a gift. It is the result of repeatedly choosing to confront discomfort rather than avoid it. Setting small challenges for yourself is another practical way to build willpower. Start with manageable tasks. Commit to drinking more water, limiting social media use, or reading a few pages of a book every day. These small challenges may seem trivial, but they are the building blocks of discipline. Each time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are in control of your actions. Over time, these small victories accumulate, creating a foundation of confidence and self-control that can carry you through larger challenges. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Practicing mental discipline every day is how you master yourself. It is not about perfection but progress, choosing day by day to act with intention, to face discomfort, and to hold yourself accountable. These small, consistent efforts may seem silent and insignificant in the moment, but they are the seeds of greatness. Over time, they will transform not only your mindset but your entire life. 8. Stoicism and faith. Stoicism teaches us a profound truth. Difficulties do not block the path. They are the path. Life's challenges are not obstacles to our progress, but the very terrain through which we grow, adapt, and strengthen our character. This philosophy, rooted in the wisdom of ancient thinkers, reminds us that adversity is not a curse but a teacher, a silent force, shaping us into the best versions of ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful idea encourages us to see difficulties not as reasons to retreat, but as opportunities to rise. When we face adversity with courage, we uncover strengths we didn't know we possessed. It is through hardship that resilience is born, and it is through struggle that we learn to endure. But Stoicism doesn't stand alone in this belief. Faith, whether in God, a higher power, or the inherent goodness of life, plays an equally critical role in helping us navigate life's storms. Faith gives us the strength to trust that even in the darkest moments, there is purpose. It reminds us that we are not alone, that there is meaning behind the chaos, and that every trial we endure is part of a greater plan. Story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning. Trapped in the horrors of a concentration camp, Frankl found hope and purpose not in avoiding suffering, but in confronting it with faith and willpower. He believed that while we cannot always control our circumstances, we can control how we respond to them. His faith in life's meaning and his will to endure became his guiding light, even in the face of unimaginable pain. His story is a testament to the power of faith and Stoic principles working together to help us stand firm in adversity. In our own lives, the interplay between Stoicism and faith can be seen in everyday struggles. Think of a parent working tirelessly to provide for their family. The long hours, the sacrifices, and the exhaustion may seem overwhelming, but their faith in the future, the belief that their efforts will create a better life for their children, keeps them moving forward. At the same time, Stoic principles remind them to focus on what they can control: their dedication, their actions, and their attitude. Together, faith and willpower form an unshakable foundation, enabling them to persevere. Faith also provides a sense of peace in the face of uncertainty. When life feels chaotic and unpredictable, faith reminds us to trust the process, to believe that even the hardest moments hold lessons. As the Bible says, we glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. This aligns beautifully with the Stoic belief that adversity is the crucible in which character is forged. To embrace both Stoicism and faith is to recognize that life's challenges are not punishments, but opportunities. It is to understand that difficulties, though painful, are necessary for growth. Faith gives us the strength to trust the journey, while Stoicism teaches us how to walk it with grace, courage, and resilience. Together, they remind us that no matter how heavy the burden, we have the power to carry it, and that in doing so, we become stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. Life is full of challenges and uncertainties, but these difficulties are opportunities for growth and resilience. Discipline, inner strength, and faith are the foundations that help you overcome storms and live a purposeful and steady life. Remember, change begins with small actions: waking up on time, staying calm under pressure, and facing what you've been avoiding. Each small step is a brick that builds your inner strength and true freedom. Start today. Choose one small act of discipline and follow through. If you're ready to change, leave a comment. I want to become better. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to spread this message. The journey to becoming the best version of yourself starts now, with you. Take the step, you'll never regret it.